Welcome to the brand new actor, the first episode entitled You Graduated, Now What? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Deanna Gamboa. I am a non-union actress and SAG eligible in Miami, Florida, and I graduated from New World School of the Arts with my Bachelor in Fine Arts in Musical Theater. For the past 3 years, I've been living in Miami as a working professional actress. As for the brand new actor podcast, if you haven't already, be sure to tune into the trailer that I posted in January. And if you don't have the time or don't feel like it, I'll give you a little summary. So, The Brand New Actor is a podcast for everyone, a podcast for actors in all stages of their career. From the graduate to the brand new actor, and even the professional actor can grasp something from the Brand New Actor podcast. As well, I would like to first start off by giving thanks to everyone that has been so supportive of this podcast, even those calling me out for taking more than 2 weeks to post the first episode. I hear you, and I am super, super appreciative of your input and your support. Unfortunately, I had some family matters to deal with, if I'm being honest, and also March becomes like a little bit of a crazy season with like festivals that I was participating in and some seasonal auditions, so I got a little distracted. But here I am now, and I'm ready to start. So again, thank you for your love, your support, and for pushing me on that deadline. I purposely put myself within a deadline so I could make the deadline, but here we are. And without further ado, enjoy the first episode of The Brand New Actor. So, you graduated. Now what? This is the question that we all ask ourselves once we graduate. How do I get a job? When will I get the job? And we have these high expectations that after acquiring the knowledge from a BFA program that we can just get the job instantly. We're ready. And I think it's because we have been told all our lives to go get a degree and you'll get a job, but that's not really the reality of it. And then you begin to ask yourself, what's wrong with me? I have all of the knowledge necessary, the talent, the skills to get the job, but I can't get the job. And the problem is not you. I repeat it. The problem is not you. Not necessarily, let's just say. And you're not alone. Most college graduates feel this way, not just graduates in BFA musical theater and acting programs. A lot of graduates are lost after they graduate. They don't know what to do. And I think it's because, besides a multitude of problems that it could be your age, your experience, your look, things that you can't necessarily control. I mean, you can change your look, but that would be tampering with what makes you unique, right? But these are things, like I said, things you can't control. But maybe the problem is just a lack of skills and preparation of like social networking and branding and marketing yourself as an actor to put yourself out there. Most BFA programs lack what I call the class of business for the actor. There's no class on it to prepare you of how to get the job through social networking and specific branding. So, what's the solution? First, it's time, actor, that you consider yourself a business. You are the face of your business. You are the representative of your business. So say it with me. I am a business. You are a business. You are the representative, the face, the advocate for your talent. No one is going to fight harder for your business but you. So get it together. Especially when you don't have an agent or a manager. And even then, when you have those agents or managers, you are still the main representative of your business, because those relationships take time to cultivate. And again, you're still going to be the main representative of the business. And when the actor learns to unlock this, you'll get the job. You'll get the job. Personally, I graduated from my BFA musical theater program in 2021, also known as the COVID era. And anyone that graduated from 2020, 21, 22, even 2023, I applaud you, especially if you had to undergo Zoom University and Zoom Theater. I mean, my God, was that crucial. As we know, typically, graduating is a daunting yet thrilling and confusing rites of passage. But during a pandemic, it was even more daunting than ever before. Theaters were closed, people were passing away, people were 6 feet apart, there was Zoom productions. It was just a crazy time to be alive. We didn't know what the future would hold. Nonetheless, what the future would hold for theater and film and television. We had no idea if we were even going to graduate. We were just like, what is going on? And just trying to get through the program. Not to mention that we felt like our education had been robbed from us. Some contemplated leaving the program, coming back. I mean, some people had financial issues. They couldn't even afford to go to school. It was very sad to see. And some persevered, like I did. From freshman year, we had this high expectation of what our senior year would look like. We were promised a showcase in New York and in Miami in which we could present our talent in front of casting directors, artistic directors, and other people in the community, agents, managers. We had this high hopes that this showcase would be like the way that we would be able to open doors for a job. And with the pandemic, being the second year of the pandemic, that didn't happen. We didn't have a showcase, unfortunately. And while we were disappointed by this, I think looking back, we can all agree that it wasn't the school's fault. We were in the second year of COVID, and that we're grateful for the education that we could receive, that we did receive. And despite all of these obstacles that we face, I have to say that I'm very honored to be part of the class of 2021 because a lot of us, including myself, have been nonstop professional working actors. Some are local in Miami, others are in Atlanta, others are in New York, on tour, on a cruise boat. We didn't allow the obstacles of the pandemic or the lack of preparation and resources get to us. We made a plan, we had dreams and goals, and we made it happen. So congratulations to the class of 2021, 2020, 22, 23 that has persevered through all the obstacles that COVID presented to them. Congratulations. I'm very proud of you. Now, for those that have not been as successful or those about to graduate or need rebranding as a professional actor to get the job, this is for you. We have to ask ourselves, how did we do it? How do we continue to get the job? What is going on? What is it that we're doing? And like I said, I think it just comes down to planning, research, and execution. That's it. And although I said most programs do not have the business of acting class, I will say that we did have a class with Dean Patrice Bailey. May God rest her soul. She passed away. She was a vigorous, passionate Irish American woman, and she was wonderful. She did indeed have a class about the industry. I mean, mind you, most of it was her talking about the industry, some maybe a little outdated information, but if there's anything I could take away from this woman, there are two takeaways. The first is her famous catchphrase, which was, "How badly do you want it?" Seriously, how badly do you want it? Will you wake up early in the morning and fight for it every morning? You gotta ask yourself, how badly do you want it? Sometimes when I'm in my low seasons, when I'm feeling down because I have to go to work, I ask myself, how badly do I want it? How badly do I want it to continue fighting for it? You gotta ask yourself the same question. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Right? And the second takeaway is an assignment that she gave us in this class called the plan assignment. And I have to say, the plan assignment was very helpful, especially during the time of COVID. And not to brag, I got an A on the assignment, and I can't say the same for the rest of my classmates, but I did get an A on the assignment. And I think it's because I took it really seriously since, again, it was a pandemic and I just wanted to have control over something, over my career path. And I will tell you this, looking back, I think that I didn't allow myself to dream big because of the world and the circumstances that I was facing in the COVID era. Meaning, I may have to redo the plan assignment and tweak it to my liking because I already accomplished the career goal that I had in mind, which was a very realistic goal. But I want more now. Like the song says, I want more. Mermaid. All right, off topic. Now it is time to get into the plan assignment with me. And I will be providing a document form of the plan in which you can have and you can fill out for yourself. But we're going to go over it together. So join me. Here we go. The plan assignment. First question. What are your career goals? Create short and long-term goals. So a goal must be something specific. It must be attainable within a certain period of time. It must have a start and an ending time. A short-term goal may be accomplished within weeks, 3, maybe 6 months. And a long-term goal, 6 months, 12 months, years, may be accomplished. But that a short or long-term goal, either way, you need to complete it within that certain period of time. For instance, of a goal, if I want to lose weight, let's say I want to lose, again, specific, 5 pounds. Okay, realistically, I could lose 5 pounds maybe, I don't know, 2 weeks, a month. Let's say I set out to lose 5 pounds starting today. From a month from now, I have to lose 5 pounds and keep off the weight. That's something very specific. It has a start, it has an end date, and it's attainable. How do I attain this goal? Then you have to have tactics, strategies. Don't eat out. Don't go to Starbucks, Deanna, and have a lot of coffee with a lot of sugar in it. Watch what you eat. Go to the gym every day. These are strategies in which you can accomplish that goal within that certain period of time. Now, question number 2. What market of acting do you want to be in, that you want to pursue primarily? Do you want to do theater, television, commercial, film, voiceover? And I get it. Most actors want to do everything. I want to be on TV. I want to be in the theater. I want to do voiceovers. I want to do everything. I get it. I seriously get it. But I'm asking you to pick one. Pick one. Why? Each acting market has a focus, dedication, and time that you have to put forth. So they all require a lot of this. So you cannot just do everything just yet. Pick one, be good at that one, then move on to another market. And I'm telling you this personally, from personal experience. I have picked theater, and I have consistently done theater for young audiences. Theater in Miami, I have been doing theater nonstop, to the point that I don't have the time, even though I'm trying to branch into television, film, and commercial work. I don't have the time to dedicate or the effort to put into these other markets as I want to, so I can actually see growth and improvement in those markets. And you'll find the balance eventually, right? I'm hoping, at least for me. Third question. What city do you want to live in that has these acting markets? Emphasis on that. What city do you want to live in that has these acting markets? So your acting market should influence the place you live and your career goals. So try to think of hotspots for these acting markets. For instance, when we think of theater, we think of Broadway, we think of New York, Chicago even. If we think of TV, commercial, film, we think Hollywood, California, of course. Some people have been going to Atlanta as well, so that's another option, maybe a cheaper option. Voiceover, you could do at home, but maybe there's some hot spots in the US in which you can go to as well. But you got to do the research, you got to look into it. I don't have all the answers for you. So look into it. Now, this is the part of the plan that you're like, oh, why did I sign up for this? But please stay with me. Stay with me. This is, while tedious, very necessary, very vital planning and information that you need in order to make a decision about what your career goals are going to look like. And so the next question is, what is the cost of living in the city that you have selected? I don't know, so go look it up. Go look up the cost of living. Next, where can you afford to live? Are you going to live in a house, an apartment, a studio? Do you have a roommate? Maybe alumni? Some type of support system in that city that you can rely on? That's very helpful, especially if you're starting brand new in a city, your new career, everything's new. So you want something familiar like a support system of friends, family, or alumni to help you out. Now, create a breakdown of expenses. So this is where it gets very, very specific. I know. But try to list as many expenses that you can think of, from rent to a phone bill, food, transportation, and your living expenses may vary depending on the city that you decide to live in. So for instance, in Miami, I'll be paying for gas, tolls, car payment, car insurance, versus in New York, scrap all that. I'm just gonna be paying for the subway and the train, right? So look into all of these things. You can also list some subscriptions, things that you use for work, like casting websites, casting network, Actors Access, Backstage, whatever it is that you use, you have a subscription to, be sure to include that. I even put Netflix in there because Netflix, Hulu, all of these streaming services, yeah, that's part of my work because I'm an actor and I need to know what is the newest shows and newest movies. I need to be up with it because I need to know what's going on and where I could be cast in, right? So, yeah, it's part of your expenses. So is Apple Music. I use it for work personally, so Apple Music. And just a key tip, Finance 101. These can all count as tax write-offs at the end of the year. Even a haircut could be a tax write-off because you're an actor, you have to maintain your look, right? Going to the dentist, all these things. They're all part of your look. They're all part of your work. So write them off at the end of the year. And let's get rid of the notion of being a starving actor, because I am sick of hearing that. We don't need to be starving actors. We need to be financially prudent actors that know how to budget, know how to be financially responsible, and manage their money well. You need to learn how to save. When you get a check, save 10, 20% of your check. Put it in a savings account. Don't touch it unless you have an emergency. Create an emergency fund. I could go on and on and on and on for hours. Save all your receipts, your gas, whatever. Anything that you use for expenses towards your career, those are write-offs, deductions at the end of the year, so you can pay less on taxes because you don't have that money because you've been spending it on all the things that you need, right? So now, take all of those expenses and accumulate a total estimated cost of living. Then from that, you can try to see, okay, how much money do I need to make in order to pay for all of these living expenses? And okay, another thing that you should think about is how much money can you save before you make the big move? Can you take out 10, 20% of your checks? No. And start saving that money. How much money do you need to just make the move? First month, second month of rent, security deposit, etc. Now, what are some job markets in this city besides acting? And I have to tell you, my personal belief, this is not for everyone. This is just advice that I give to actors, new actors, brand new actors, newly graduate. Personally, I have always worked in the theater community in one way or another. There are jobs in the theater besides acting. I have never worked at a Starbucks, although it's kind of my dream a little bit to be a barista. Anyways, never worked at a Starbucks, never worked at the mall, never at a restaurant, nothing, nada, none of it, ever. And again, it's not for everyone, but for me, I have always selected to work in a creative environment. as my source of income. Why? You ask? I feel that you should set yourself up in a job where you can grow. I'm not going to grow at Starbucks, or I don't really care to grow in those environments. So I place myself in a work environment in which I can grow in my career path. In environments where I feel that can set me up for social networking and connecting with other people. Personally, now I'm working as a marketing coordinator at a local Miami theater. And we always have artists, actors, artistic directors, just artists in general, coming in, hosting, or even attending events at the theater. So I'm always able to connect with these creative people. And that fuels me as well as an actor and inspires me and keeps me going every day. So that way I'm not bored and miserable at my job. So that's the reason that I do it, and it has worked for me. So maybe it'll work for you. Try it out. Look for jobs within the industry besides acting. So after you find a job, you got to ask yourself, based on all the money expenses that you have, can you work part-time or full-time? And also consider the fact that, yes, you have to pay all your bills and all that, but additionally, you want to ensure that you have enough time to go to auditions and you have a flexible job in which you can do that. That's another thing. Not a lot of jobs are very flexible. They're not going to understand that you're going to an audition every other day and you have to change your work schedule constantly. So when you're working in a job within the theater community and industry of entertainment, they're understanding of those things more so than regular jobs. So consider whether you have to work part-time or full-time. But again, you want to have enough time to chase your dreams. Now, what are other jobs in the theater that I'm talking about that you can do? So there's so many jobs in the theater, and we're always looking for people. If you need a job, let me know. There is a need for stage managing, costumes, marketing, box office, tech, and more. There are jobs in the theater besides acting, and you can earn a steady income doing these things, and you're going to enjoy it too. So why not be in a creative environment? I can always go to work feeling creative, even when I'm not acting. Now, let's delve into those acting markets. Theater. If you selected theater as the acting market that you want to pursue, I want you to start listing local regional theater companies. And when you're looking into these companies, I want you to consider the following when researching. What is their artistic statement or mission? Does it align with you and your artistry? I have to say, when you are a beginner actor, a brand new actor, initially you have to audition for as many theater companies as possible. You want to be what I call an opportunist. If there were like stages of acting, like how Shakespeare created the stages of humanity, I think the first step after The Graduate would be the opportunist. Someone that's always auditioning for many companies, many auditions, taking on so many roles. You want to be an opportunist. But eventually, the opportunists must focus in on what their artistic statement is. You yourself are going to have to build an artistic statement, the work that you want to do, the way that you want to do theater to change others in the world. And you have to look for companies that align with that artistic statement. But for now, what is their artistic statement, and do you align with their artistic statement? Do you like the work that they're putting up there? Then you have to ask yourself, what type of theater productions are they doing? Is it classical, contemporary, or is it immersive? Which one appeals to you most? Are the actors union, non-union? At this point in your career, if you just graduated from school or don't have a lot of professional credits, you're going to be considered non-union. So you want to look for non-union opportunities until you have enough credits to then become part of the union if you think it's right for you. Who are the artistic directors? Learn about them. What is their work experience? Follow them on social media. When are auditions? Are they seasonal or project-based? So there are seasonal auditions, meaning there's one audition for their whole entire season of productions. Just one audition. So you make it or You're not part of their season. Or, what I like better, project-based auditions. So when there's a new production coming up, they hold auditions and you can attend. And that gives you accessibility to be auditioning with them year round, meaning that they're getting to know you and your face. And hopefully they cast you eventually. Look into their websites and their social media. How can you also get updated about auditions is another thing. There are subscriptions that you can have, like for the South Florida Theater League here in Miami. There's a newsletter in which you can subscribe to and become a member of the South Florida Theater League. And I weekly get the latest updates on auditions. So yeah, that's one way. And another way is just like tuning into their social media, I feel like is a really good way to find out about auditions. I literally go to their social media page and press on the little bell so I can get notification anytime there's an audition. Because you want to be the first to know about their auditions. You want to be able to sign up right away before they fill up. That's another thing. Okay, changing gears. If you picked TV, film, commercial as the acting market that you want to pursue, by the way, each of these, I know I bunched them all together in a group, but they all have very specific approaches. Just saying. But for the most part, they also do group together. So instead of theater companies, you're going to list agents in the area. And consider the following when you're researching. What markets do they represent talent for? Because some don't represent all of these markets. For instance, I'm represented right now by Applegate Agency for commercial work. She also does film work, but television, not necessarily. So you have to look into the market that they represent and what market you want to be represented for. As well, there's some agents that represent for hosting and modeling. So if you want to get into that as well, look into it. And next, you want to think about whether they're a boutique agency, exclusive, is it free to work in the States? And what does this all mean? So a boutique agency is typically an agency with a smaller talent pool and they're more niche oriented. So smaller talent pool, meaning they'll get more jobs for their employees. Exclusive, that means one agent only. You cannot sign with any other agent. And then something that they have in Florida is called free to work, meaning you can have more than one agent in Florida. You're not obligated to join just one. Yay. So what's the talent look like? More like you, less like you, too many look like you? What do you think? Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Next, you want to look into casting directors, the most popular casting directors in the area. You want to be friends with them. They're the ones that are helping you to get the role, right? And look into like any social networking opportunities. Do they have a free Zoom class in general that you can take? Any workshops, any type of networking opportunities in which you can get yourself in the door, right? And finally, we're getting to the end of the plan. Are there any educational opportunities that you want to take advantage of? And I know you just graduated, but you never stop learning. You never stop learning. So take classes when you can. So look into things that you have to continue to refresh, like dance class, singing, vocal lessons, acting classes. I'm specifically taking film, TV, commercial acting classes because I didn't really have that in my PFA musical theater program. It's just a technical thing to fix in terms of my acting, but it's all the same. And you want to look into networking opportunities, ways that you can meet with agents, directors, artistic directors, etc., etc., etc. Always be on the lookout for networking opportunities, places that you can go to meet other artists. So if you decide to move to another city, my question to you is, do you have a support system? Is that going to affect you? Because a lot of the times people go to a new city after they graduate and they come back home. And it's because they don't have a support system. They don't cultivate a support system either. And they feel very lonely and may become expensive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you know? So how's the support system? If you don't have one, create one while you're there. And last but not least, will you continue with your plans? I know. You went through all the trouble this whole entire podcast. First episode, you're like, oh my God, I cannot believe she's asking me this. But yes, even though you do all the tedious research, you gotta reflect back and say to yourself, okay, is this really realistic? These plans? Can I make it happen? Do I need to tweak it? What can I do to save more money in order to make that big move? Maybe I'm not ready yet, right? Or you're like, maybe New York or LA is too expensive. LA is too expensive for my liking and I want to make it into TV, film, and commercial acting. Maybe I'll go to Atlanta instead, which is a little cheaper. Try it out. So the point is, at the end of the day, you do the research, you're informed, and you're ready. So thank you so, so much for tuning in to The Brand New Actor. This has been episode 1. You graduated. Now what? Tune in next time for the next episode, episode 2. I'm so excited. Thank you all for watching. Bye.